Hello, everyone, and welcome to On the News podcast, the best podcast on campus. I am Caleb.
I am Sarah. Today we're talking about how science and technology help shape modern English into the language we know today.
As you could imagine, English didn't just randomly become global. Different historical periods introduced new inventions, discoveries, and even completely new ways of communicating.
Honestly, some words we use every single day didn't even exist a few centuries ago.
Sure, imagine explaining Wi Fi to someone from the 18th century.
They would probably think it's dark magic or something like that.
Yeah. So that's why today we will explore three major eras: the scientific revolution, the industrial revolution, and the digital age. Today we are trying to do something different because we are trying to make this episode as informative as possible. So stay tuned till the end.
And joining us today, we have three specialists who are passionate about each topic.
First, we have Professor Dana Peñalba, linguistics specialist and historical lexicographer.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Welcome. We also have Professor Martin Cordova from New York University, especially in Industrial Revolution and Technology.
Hi, thank you for inviting me. I am very happy to be here tonight.
And finally, we have Professor Alexander Drinkwater, specialist in digital communication systems and artificial intelligence.
Glad to be here. Let's do a nice job.
So, to understand how English became the global language that we know today, we first need to go back to a period where science completely transformed the way people understood the world. And that's what we know as the scientific revolution.
Let's begin with the scientific revolution and Professor Dana Peñalba. So, Professor, could you explain to us what exactly happened to English during this period?
Yes, of course. Well, during the 7th century, science started advancing very quickly. So, scientists making discovery in astronomy, medicine, physics, and chemistry. But also, they discovered one major problem. English didn't have enough vocabulary to explain new ideas.
So, they have to create new words. So, could you give us an example of this?
Yeah, of course. Examples were like gravity, biology, electricity, and some verbs were. That's all were very normal, but on the one point, they were completely new concepts.
It's actually crazy to think about. Imagine hearing the word electricity for the first time.
Exactly. And another important point is that when English slowly came, but more respectable as a language for science and research.
So, we practically could say that this period wasn't only about discovery, it also changed the status of English itself.
Yeah, first, these are that's what made it so important.
So, while the scientific revolution gave English the vocabulary to explain new discoveries, the next era will completely change how people lived, worked, and communicated. And that's what's known as the Industrial Revolution.
Yes, so for that we have Professor Marlin with us. So, Professor Marlin, can you tell us how did the Industrial Revolution affect English?
Of course, the Industrial Revolution transformed every life. Factories, machines, trains, and new communication systems appear everywhere. So, naturally, people need to learn new vocabulary.
Yeah, and I guess this make people start learning vocabulary related to machinery in this case, right?
Exactly. Terms like engine, factory, locomotives, and later telephone become common in daily communications.
This is so interesting because these inventions probably feel as revolutionary as a smartphone probably feel for us today.
That's actually a very good comparison. people were experiencing technology that completely changed transportation and work and communication.
Honestly, I don't think I would survive working in a factory in the 18th century.
Okay, well, you barely survive your projects.
Yeah, another important fact that is industrialization. So, with English, internationally both trade and business.
So technology wasn't only changing vocabulary for everyone, it was helping English spread around the world, you could say.
Exactly, we know it.
And now we move from factories and steam engines to smartphones, social media, and AI. While industrial revolution connected people through machines and transportation, the digital age would connect the entire world instantly through the internet and modern technology.
Yes, so we can welcome Professor Alexander. So, Professor Alexander, we're living in digital age right now. So, how has technology changed English today?
Well, talking about the digital age, well, it has probably changed communication faster than any other previous era, and that's because of the internet. Because the internet connected the whole world in an instant, and that made English the dominant language used online.
Yeah, I think that's a good point because nowadays we can see English every day, everywhere, in movies, in books, literally everywhere.
That's true. And talking about some words, let me give you the example with online, streaming, smartphone, algorithm, and AI, because they have became a part of everyday language very quickly. And that's because they are new inventions that we have to use and we see every day on the news or new articles or researches.
Yeah, we also have the social media has changed the way people write today, didn't it?
That's true because communication in social media has become shorter, faster, and more informal. That's because of the abbreviations. We got now abbreviations like LOL, LOL, BRB that have become globally recognized, and people in face to face communication use them, and that's kind of curious to me. But now, talking about artificial intelligence, that's just another topic that is creating another major transformation in communication. Because we can see that nowadays people are so used to using AI that they started to talk like them and write like them.
Oh, so perhaps do you think AI could change English even more in the future?
Yes, and also technology in general, because they keep creating new concepts. A language needs to keep adapting so we can express them.
Yes, so there you have it. Unfortunately, we are getting to the end of today's podcast, but not without knowing that modern English evolved alongside science and technology.
So we could see that from scientific discoveries to industrial machines to the internet and artificial intelligence, every era introduced new vocabulary and new ways of communicating.
Yes, we will change because the society changed.
And don't forget technology, as always pushing communication forward.
And believe me, technology will just evolve alongside communication.
Sure, maybe that means that in 100 years, people will laugh at the way we talk today.
Especially your interest slang.
You're right, Sarah. And well, before we leave, thank you to our experts for taking the time to be here today. And also thank you everyone for listening to our podcast. See you soon.
See you soon.